Welcome to Digits Trading Corporation.
Hi, I'm Queenie, the active leader of this group, and I'm on my way to meet my co-members in Cubao for our interview with one of the HR head of Digits Trading Corporation. Digits Trading Corporation was founded by Charles Poe and is a leading distributor of gadgets and lifestyle products in the Philippines. In 1995, they opened their first retail store in San Juan. The company operates prominent retail brands like Beyond the Bags and Digital Walker. Beyond the Bags has 15 stores nationwide and is the fastest growing Apple premium reseller in the Philippines, while Digital Walker has 30 stores nationwide and is the country's leading retailer of the world's most cutting-edge consumer technology. Today, they have a total of 45 in-house stores and numerous online channels where they sell gadgets.
Okay, good morning. My name is Attorney Janice Alonso Damsen, popularly known as Attorney JC here in Digits Trading Corporation. So I started my HR career way back in 2013 in Novo Holdings Incorporation. So I was the legal counsel and the HR head that time in Novo. And in 2018, I entered Digits Trading Corporation, which is the mother company for Beyond the Box and Digital Walker. So currently, I'm going 8 years as an HR head for Digits Trading Corporation, and I love my HR work.
So, good morning po. I am Kyle Joshua Matiba together with my co-members.
I am Juliana Cristina Vigaingan po.
And I'm Jerry Barasa.
And I'm Shani De La Rosa.
We are a first-year marketing student from National University of Manila, seeking for an opportunity from the learnings and knowledge that we will be shared on us based on these questions that we're going to ask and related to your field as an HR director.
And so for this session, we as a group, we're going to ask you some questions related to your field as an HR director of Digits Trading Corporation. And to start po with our first two questions, it is focused on talent acquisition. How do you handle employer branding and what effect does it have on recruiting talent?
Okay, just to clarify, there's no directorship position here at Digits Trading. I am the head for the Human Resource, Legal, and Admin Department here at Digits Trading. And good morning, team. And to answer Shira's first question for talent acquisition, we do have an employee branding, or our talent acquisition is based on employee branding of Digits Trading Corporation. So we make sure that all ads, job opportunities, posting, and other job employment branding will represent what is our core values, our vision, and of course, what is our trademark as a Digits person. So with the colors as you've seen with our Citra board on core values, our IDs, and even our job posting in the Facebook pages, it all represents the branding of being a tech curator as a Digits Trading. So I hope it answers your first questions. And your second questions, what strategies
does your company use to attract top talent in the competitive sales and marketing sector?
So currently, since our technology is booming when it comes to social media, we have various social media platforms wherein we post our job openings, like in our Instagram page, in our Facebook pages, and of course, we have our own LinkedIn page for Digits Trading Corporation. Aside from that, we also utilize the Glassdoor, the JobStreet, and Indeed as our talent portal. So being in the era of the Gen Z and millennials, where almost all of the candidates are exposed in the social media or in these platforms, we would like to have our company represented in those platforms also.
So thank you, attorney. And it is clear that a strong employer brand can make a significant impact on attracting that top talent in the industry.
Yes. Kasi pag may branding ka, nire-represent nito yung company culture and it introduces the company to the working environment. So, pag naka-branding ka, pagpasok pa lang nila dito, kilala na nila kung tech analyst, retail or tech curator sila. So, that makes Digits as an exemplary company also.
And to proceed to the next part of the interview, it is focused on compensation and benefits. So for the question, how do you ensure that your compensation packages remain competitive in the market?
Okay, every year we do a salary benchmarking here at Digits Trading Corporation. So we survey, so it's kind of survey that we check our markets or our salary benchmarking in other markets in retail enterprises and compare it with our current salary structure. If there is a need to adjust to be competitive, we make it to the point to address it in our business planning and in our budget planning so each department can align their salary based on what is on the market right now.
And so I think you already said the answer the point for the second question also. So and thank you. And now we're done with the compensation benefits. We can proceed now to the training and development. So how does your company identify and address skill gaps among employees?
Okay, how do we address it? Mostly when we hire employees, we have our checklist on interview questions, and when we find a candidate lacking on certain skills like communication or interpersonal skills, we make it to the point to note it in our interview so that when they get on board, then we can facilitate the necessary training unique for them or fitting for that candidate if they are lacking some skills or competitiveness when it comes to the job that they are applying to. So when it comes to training programs, we have Jumpstart, which involves the facilitating or the introduction of the core values, the vision, and the product knowledge of Digits Trading. And aside from that, we do have a leadership training for our heads and managerial position that will also equip them in their day-to-day tasks as managers.
So it is impressive how you are proactive you are in identifying and addressing skill gaps. So
For the next part of the questionnaire po, it is about the company's employee engagement po. First question po is, do you have any strategies to ensure effective communication within the organization po?
So again, as we adopt to the new technology, most of our communications are in groups, like in Viber groups, in WhatsApp groups, although we do not have any Facebook group in our company, so we want a more professional platforms wherein we address our communication. Aside from that, with our HRIS, we have a announcement portal wherein all the employees will be able to access what is our current events or any posting or announcement when it comes to the company's events or I think any involvement of where the employees needed.
I have a follow-up question po about it. If so po, does this approach consistently produce a favorable result to the employees? How do you maintain or make sure po the workers always benefits from it or use it po?
Okay. When we do events kasi, we make sure na yung target markets namin are aligned with the events. For example, it's a Mother's Day celebration or a Father's Day celebration. We make it to the point to survey our mothers and fathers on what would they like as a gift or as an employment, an event. Like for mothers, they would like to do pampering, manicures, pedicures. So before we launch an event, we make sure to have it surveyed, and most of the employee will be happy when we launch that kind of projects.
For the next question po is, how often do you hold employee engagement events such as gathering where everyone participates to create a healthy and effective communication within your organization?
Okay, that's a good question. When it comes to a summer event, we usually launch our annual team building wherein we would like to involve all employees to mingle and of course to do the teamwork projects when it comes to their intra-departmental engagement. And by end of year or every January or February, we hold our annual Thanksgiving. In Digits Trading, since we are in a retail company, we do not hold any Christmas event because diba, during December, dun talaga yung peak ng sales. So instead of doing a Christmas celebration, we do an annual Thanksgiving after all the projects and the sales were done. And then it's all company-wide. So dun namin napapakita yung appreciation namin sa effort ng mga employees to boost the sales.
Okay po. Another follow-up question po about the question is, how do you deal or budget an employee engagement event po if the budget that is given from the higher-ups po is limited? Do you
Okay.
find an alternative po or...
That's an interesting question. How do we find an alternative in augmenting our budget? Number one, we do sponsorship. So we are in tie-ups with other suppliers like manpower agencies, like product suppliers. So we made to the point to also express to them our intent to open up this project to our employees. So they would sponsor some of the prizes, some of the food courts. So appreciate din siya na employee kasi they work hard for that product eh. So parang pa-thank you din ng mga product din sa kanila. So that's one part of augmenting our budget kasi alam naman natin na talagang limited yung budget for employee engagement.
Thank you po. The next part of the questionnaire is about labor and employee relations management po. First question po is, how do you address concerns raised by your employees? Is there a formal process po?
Yes, there's a formal process. We call it due process. So being a lawyer, this is one of my expertise, the labor relations part of the HR. So usually, do I need to explain the process ba? Or it's just a nutshell? So what is on the labor law, like the new notice requirements, the admin hearing, and the tenor of the decision, we followed it. So we are compliant with what the labor code provides.
And the next question po is, how do you set the ground rules for new employees and present employees? Is there a process that should be followed po?
Usually, for our disciplinary action employment relations, we make it to the point that during onboarding pa lang or orientation, alam na nila yung house rules and code of conduct. Why? Because during the first day, syempre exposed ka sa day-to-day tasks, we want them to be aware what are the do's and don'ts so that they won't violate it at wala rin brewing any administrative action against them.
For the last two questions about the company, it is about the company's policy naman po. First question po is, what aspect do you consider if there's a need to make and revise a new policy po?
There are two factors that we consider. One is the culture and the other one is the trend. So remember when we encountered the pandemic, so you see company nag-adjust din, nagkaroon ng work from home, nagkaroon ng remote work setup, nagkaroon ng skeletal work setup. So our policy is really based on what is the existing needs of the employee and also what is the culture that the company wants to invite with the employee. For example, we want our employee to feel more the work-life balance. So we implemented a 5-day work week rather than a 6-day work week. Our employee wanted to spend more time in work. We can implement the compressed work week rather than the 8 hours work week. So that's how we varies our company policy also.
Last question po is, how do you ensure that your company's HR policy is aligned with the overall business strategy?
Okay, number one, every year we do a business planning and a budget planning. So we make sure that the human resource is represented on that activity, and we made it to the point to voice out what would be the employee wanted or what will be our goal for the next year for our dear employees. So para doon namin mabavary kung ano yung policy versus the management expectation also. Kasi alam naman natin sa HR field, hindi laging pro-employee ka. Dapat pinapakinggan mo rin si management. So dapat balance lagi yan. And well represented pagdating ng budget and business plan.
That's all po.
So now let's proceed naman po sa the next part of our question where it talks about your as an HR as career. So for the first question, what motivated you to pursue a career in HR and what do you find most rewarding about it?
Okay, actually, it's one of the difficult questions that I was able to explain to most of my colleagues also. I'm a lawyer by profession. I've been a lawyer for 17 years, but an HR practitioner for almost 8 years. So why? Pag legal counsel ka kasi, exposed ka sa labor. So mas may alam ka, hindi naman mas alam. I don't want to belittle the HR profession because I love it. So, being a legal counsel, na-involve ako sa HR matters. Doon ako nagkaroon ng opportunity to become an HR manager and an HR head for the various companies. So, yung question mo, paano ako na-motivate? I am motivated more on the ability to address the needs of people. Kasi as a lawyer, you have to be safe.
Yes.
As an HR, you have to be empathic. So I have to wear two hats. At lagi akong nakagiling dun sa pagiging empathic. Kaya nga lagi sinasabi ng mga friends ko, mas mukha akong HR rather than a lawyer. Kasi mas yung empathy ko sa tao nandun rather than being straight. So yun siguro yung papamotivate sa akin. Yung makita ko, kailangan ako ng tao at napufulfill ko din yung needs ng mga employees natin sa company.
Okay. So for the second question is, how do you respond to the perception that HR is a low-earning profession?
It's a low-earning profession, but it's a rewarding profession. So for young people like you, huwag kayong ma-disengage or ma-demotivate because sabi nila baba ang sweldo ng HR. Yes, and sabi nga nila, HR means hardly recognized, but it's not true. Kasi pag HR ka, number one, you are looked up by people in your company. Why? Because you're the policy maker. You do disciplinary actions. Number two, pag may mga companies or mga workers kayo, employees, I mean, na nakaka-appreciate sa'yo, magaan sa puso. Na pag natapos yung event, uy, THR team, thank you, ang ganda ng event, na-motivate kami, na-benefit kami. So that's one of the, sabi nga natin, it's not always about the money. It's about how you feel and how you can take it on yourself na, yes, nagawa ko ng tama yung trabaho.
Okay, so it can clearly support that being an HR is one of the things that we love to do and passionate.
Yes.
So next for the next question, where it talks about here the HR being a catalyst for change. So first question is, how does HR facilitate organizational change and innovation within your company?
Okay. When it comes to the new era of AI, actually we are more on the system integration na part pa lang kasi AI is the ultimate goal eh. Pero since alam naman natin ang technology ng Philippines is not really AI ready yet. So more on system integration na kami. Like HRIS, ERP. So we make it to the point na kung ang ibang mga companies can do HRIS and can do ERPs, kami rin kaya namin. And we employ good IT persons to take care of our system integration and of course to achieve also that perspective ng innovation and AI technology.
So what skills do you believe are essential for HR professionals to effectively drive change in today's business environment?
Number one, flexibility. Number two, agility. Lagi ko sinasabi, HR should be agile, should be able to blend with what the environment or what the company needs. Kasi kung stiff tayo, masyado tayong traditional, hindi tayo makakahabol kung anong kailangan ng mga empleyado natin. So, it's really a diverse and sabi nga natin, continuous improvement when it comes to HR careers. Kasi lagi tayong nagiging what is the need of the company, kung ano yung kailangan ng new generation pagdating sa human resource.
Now proceeding to the last part, which is talks about here the HR being a pro-management and pro-employee. So for the first question, how to make sure that HR policies and practices balance organizational goals with employee well-being?
Okay, yung mga HR policies and practices namin, usually we consult it with heads. Why? Because they are the frontliners or they are the one who directly supervise the team. So, mas alam nila yung kailangan ng team. So, bago kami maglabas ng HR policy, we do a mancom. Pinapresent namin ano yung recommendation namin as HR at tinatanong namin yung mga heads if that strategy will be effective throughout the company. So, pag hindi kami nakaka-reach ng any unanimous or even a majority decision, hindi namin nilalaunch yung policy. Bakit? Kung walang susunod at walang magbe-benefit, bali wala yung policy mo. Kaya kailangan address lahat ng needs at nag-a-agree lahat ng heads dun sa HR policy na ilo-launch mo.
So to what you said as policy, can you provide an example or a policy or initiative that has benefited both the management and the employees?
Okay. Okay, number one is our attendance management or our compressed work week. It benefits the employee kasi nawawala yung Saturday and Sunday work. So, kumbaga, Mondays to Fridays lang siya. Saturday will be family time, more time for the employee to do the work-life balance. And also, it benefits the management. Bakit? Tipid. Tipid sa kuryente, tipid sa facility cost. And of course, when it comes, sabi naman natin usually, hindi talaga matitipid yan eh. It's really pay by or by day. Pero yung expenses, daily expenses for operations, yun yung natitipid. So I think that's the perfect example where we balance the management interest versus the employee's well-being then.
Okay, thank you. So now let's proceed to the additional questions. Then for the last three additional questions po. First is, what metrics or indicators do you see to measure the success of Asian initiatives aimed at employee growth and development?
Okay, sa company namin, we have our KPIs. So there are key performance indicator and key results areas that we make it to the point na may goal kami every year at minimeasure namin yung performance ng employee. Like when it comes to recruitment, employee engagement, labor relations, what are our matrices, attritions. So every month, nagka-calculate kami ng mga matrices na yun para makita din namin yung productivity ng team and of course, kung nag-succeed ba kami dun sa goals namin. Yun yung mga one of the innovations or measures where we know how we are successful or nag-improve ba yung HR department.
Then for the second question is, how do you manage HR role in facilitating organizational changes that management want to implement with the awareness that your employees shall not support such changes?
Sorry ha, yung question kasi is more on, I would like to explain, elaborate nyo lang. So, ang question ba is, how do we make sure na nakakascade sa employees yung changes, tapos they would be the one to support it? Ganun ba yung dating?
As an HR po, like, kunyari, meron po gustong i-change yung management pero hindi po siya sinusuportahan ng mga employee.
Okay. So that's the nutshell of the question. Okay. Then, if there will be, kasi wala pa kami na-encounter, honestly, but kung magkakaroon ng event na ganyan na may gusto yung management and feeling namin alanganin yung mga employee to accept it, as an HR manager, ang ginagawa ko, nagkakanda ako ng town hall. So during the town hall, I was able to address or check bakit ayaw nilang tanggapin ang isang policy ng company. And then I was able to explain during the town hall ano yung pros and cons ng policy na yun. Kasi that way, ma-open yung mind ng employees, kaya pala sila naglabas ng ganitong policy. Kasi usually, pag paper lang yung policy, nagiging limited yung knowledge ng employee kung para saan at ano yung benefit nila. Compare sa one-on-one or personal talk or personal engagement na mas na-explain sa kanila kung ano yung benefit ng policy na to para sa kanila. So they would not go against or they would totally support the new policy of the management. It's more of the communication talaga.
Then for the third po is, how do you balance your role as pro-management and pro-employee po?
I think it answers the other question, pero ulitin na lang natin. Usually kasi pag ganyan, it's more on communication skills din. Why? You have to communicate to the management what would be the policy or what would be the benefit na makukuha ni management out of that project. And of course, when it comes to employee, ano yung malasakit ni management? Lagi tayong ganun eh. Bakit ginagawa ng management to para sa company? Ano yung benefit na makukuha ni employee? Kasi kung sasabihin mo lang is gusto natin itong i-impose without any reason at hindi maiintindihan ng mga tao or ng mga employee yung rasyonale, yung policy na yun, hindi ka talaga magsasucceed as an HR. So, if you want to succeed as an HR professional, you have to be well-versed in communication, you have to express yourself clearly, and of course, more on the motivational talks na tinatawag na kailangan mo ipahatid yung mensahe sa mga employees.
Okay. Then for additional question.
Well, number 4 dito.
Curious lang din po if yung di ba 5 days working lang po sila dito?
Yes.
So, may bayad po ba yung Saturday?
Yes, Saturday is a paid day for us.
Okay.
So usually pag Saturday, ang ginagawa namin dito is we do address like kung merong mga urgents, ganyan. And pag may mga seminars, tinataon namin yung Saturday para hindi rin naapektuhan yung productive day ng Mondays to Fridays. Open naman sa employees about it, and actually they are very appreciative of the management in taking that kind of step na magkaroon ng 5-day work week rather than a 6-day working week. Kasi Saturday is like life week.
Yan lang po. Thank you so much.
So, ayun again, thank you po, Miss Sorry for the creation and wonderful experience of sharing your knowledge, experience to us as a marketing students po. So from what you said po for the question that being an HR should be looked up and at the same time it has a flexibility and appreciative as an HR manager. And that's all po again. I am Kyle Joshua A. Matibag.
I am Juliana Cristina Kainan po.
And I'm Jerry Malasa po.
And I'm Shandy De La Rosa po.
And with our geographer, wait.
Hi. So thank you for the opportunity also in interviewing me and of course in making digits part of your career journey also and your student life.
In the interview with Attorney JC, we had the chance to observe that the process of employee branding matters significantly for the company. The Digits Trading Corporation attracts highly qualified professionals who are sensitive to the company's culture and core values. In addition, they use salary benchmarking to ensure that they remain competitive in the job market. HR profession is highly challenging and highly rewarding given the focus on taking care of employee needs, creating an empathetic environment, and ensuring that the productivity is at its peak. Reflecting on our interview with Attorney JC Lamson, I've learned and understood a lot better about the role of a human resource professional. One of the many things I've learned from Attorney JC was no matter how difficult it is to come up with a decision, they should always consider everyone's opinion and ideas as an HR. They are pro-employee and pro-management. There are no in-betweens. They should always practice being empathic so that everyone in the organization feels that they are as important as the higher-ups. As HR, it's their responsibility to identify and address all the important concerns the employees and the management have. Even though it is a challenging position, being an HR professional ultimately means being recognized by your peers, making it a fulfilling career. I quote from Attorney Lamson, "It is a low-earning profession, but it is a rewarding profession."
Reflecting on our interview with the HR Director of Digits Trading Corporation, I learned about their HR practices. They really focus on building a strong company image to attract top talent and to find the best people. And to keep their pay competitive, they regularly check market trends and adjust salaries. Their company also offers great benefits like flexible working hours. And lastly, one thing that I learned from Attorney JC, it is important to love what you are doing and you are passionate about. Overall, it is clear that your strategic HR efforts helps to create a motivated and skilled workforce, which is crucial in the competitive sales and marketing industry. Thank you.
I can say that what you have completed and what you want to work for is not fortuitous. Sometimes you will change your mind because there is something you think is much fit for you based on your personality. Also, it can be an advantage if you are an attorney in the past and then become an HR because you know the laws and you can handle employees' concern about the policy and other things about the company. In short, you are knowledgeable on handling concerns with the right explanation. Having flexible time for the employee will give higher outcomes for the company, and being a give and take as company to employee and employee to company will be a great and continuous process to achieve goals and prevent becoming the defunct company. And that's all. Thank you.
Miss Attorney Lamsan used to be a lawyer first before becoming an HR. And one thing that I remember on her is that she said that being a lawyer, you have to be stiff. And at the same time, being an HR, you have to be empathic. Being a stiff meaning you have to stand on your own feet, where you're the one who will make your own decision and will decide what to do or not. But at the same time, what makes it different as an HR is that you're not just only considering your own opinion, but at the same time, you need to have an empathic or understanding to someone who's around you. Because as an HR, you're not just only working on your own, but at the same time, you are also working with people and considering your employees as an organization of group of people. So that makes sense to me that as an HR, you just don't have to consider your own self-opinion. By making policies, you have to consider everyone surrounds you. You need to have an agility to understand, an agility to be flexible no matter ways.
The interview with Attorney JC has provided me with some interesting insights that show the role of HR in Digits Trading Corporations. At first, I believed that the HR was there to meet the needs of the workforce. However, it is not true, as HR should align the needs of the workforce with the philosophy and strategy of the organization. So if they want to attract high-quality professionals, the HR specialist needs to be always at the head of the progress. To conclude, the career aspect of HR is the element of the interview that resonated the most. I resonated with the concept that HR is a rewarding career because of the opportunity to both respond to employees' needs and establish an environment in the workplace that is more empathetic and welcoming to everybody.
So, is there another one?
Ay,
For the
tanong po, about sa mga employees sa digital war and real world.
Okay.
5 days lang din po sila.
There are in operations kasi. So usually they have 6-day work week pero 8 hours lang.
Okay.
Pag nasa operations field ka kasi, mas iba yung yung dynamics ng work. So lahat ng nasa operations namin, even in Tasteless Group, they are into 6 days, pero meron naman silang rest day na 1. May choice din naman sila na mag 5 days, pero compressed 9.6 hours per day. So they have 2 rest days naman.
Kasama rin po sila if may employee engagement. ganun.
Yes, when we do our annual Thanksgiving, company-wide, meaning even the agency employees are involved. Actually, sila pa yung may mas mauora, sila pa yung nakaporma. Really, and most of the award is during Thanksgiving are agency employees. Parang 50% sa kanila, 50% lang sa mga office.
Okay. That's all.
Gusto mo, apply kayo. Hindi, you would, if ever na junior internship, we do have internship projects here at Digits Trading for management, for marketing, accounting, HR. Nag-accept kami ng internship. May 100 peso allowance per day.
Bali, so yung sa mga digital walker po ba yung labas, kayo rin po nag-handle?
Noon. Fan ka ng iPhone, no?
Years of experience na po tayo nagtatrabaho as an HR.
8.
Sa Digits, going 8.
Okay. Dito po kayo nag-start as HR po?
Hindi po.
Ay, hindi.
Bale, 20,000. Then, minus ko talaga, 2024 minus 8, so mga 2018. Yun. 2018 minus 5, 2013. 2013 na ako nag-start as HR. Kung tumilihan kayo sa Novo, saan kayo mga nakatira? Kayo. Novo na department store.
Ay, hindi po po.
Sino mga taga-Monumento area, Malinta area, Valenzuela? Monumento. Yes, oo. Sa Valenzuela area, Karukatan naman siya. So, doon ako nag-start, legal counsel. So, same din. Abogado ako, tapos nakita ko yung problema ng HR. Minimum wage, engagement. So, I was the one who filling up the management na dapat mo ganyan, ganyan, gawin nyo. Pabibo si attorney. Attorney, alam mo yan, sige, ikaw na HR. So, doon ako nagsimula ng career na legal ka, HR ka rin. So, same din, labor case-wise, na mas na manage because alam ko na yung strategy mo kasi tanong nito ng due process, notice requirement, admin hearing. So, hindi na kami umaabot ng doon. Pagdating ko dito, ang gusto ko talaga, ma-focus yung career ko into the legal profession. So, sabi ko, when I talk with the owners, my bosses, sabi ko, ma'am, hindi ko po hawakan ng HR and BIR. Sakit ng ulo ko kasi yun sa corporate company ko. I'll do legal and compliance.
Question lang about sa, may mga target sales po ba per beyond the box, digital
Yes,
po?
there's a target sale, but it's protected by data privacy clause.
Okay.
So, bawal. But usually naman, pag naka-target sila, they have incentives.
Yung mga employees po sa digital mo.
Yes. Si head office, walang incentive. Sa store, pag nasa operation ka, dun ka may incentive, dun ka may service charge.
Thank you po.
Pag naka-target. Yes,
Since nabanggit niyo po is yung pandemic, yung parang mga pinaka-nahirapan. Since yung pandemic po, since lahat po ng businesses diba is nagsara, permitted na nag-open, ano po yung rate? Nag-assign po ba kayo ng work from home?
Yes, we do work from home. Talagang ano kami, parang 90% work from home, 10% office space. Yung 10% na yun, oo, meron kami mga logistics staff dito na natutulog talaga. Why? Because we don't want them to be prone kung everyday ka uuwi So, service namin sila, office to bahay, every week, hatidan. Tapos, kaya kami nag-succeed during pandemic because we adapted to an e-commerce platform. So, close ang stores. Hindi pwedeng wala kaming benta. Inopen ang e-commerce, FB, Instagram Pay, Shopee, Lazada. Doon namin sustain yung business. And even in food industry, di ba, nag-close. So, nagkaroon kami ng virtual foods. Like, i-order online, i-deliver namin. Yung mga tao namin sa resto, sila mismo yung nag-volunteer na, ma'am, kami na lang maghahatid, kami yung magra-rider kasi wala kaming sweldo ngayon. Which is, kaya nung nag-Thanksgiving kami after the pandemic, the first Thanksgiving, sobrang saya ng mga tao. Kasi kami pa rin yung magkakasama Kumbaga, hindi kami nawala as a team. Nandun pa rin kami. So that's one thing I love about this company. Hindi kami sinukuan ng kumpanya. At kami rin, kahit sinasabi namin, nasa bahay kami, na-stress kami sa pandemic, hindi namin sinukuan yung kumpanya. Tinulungan pa rin namin sila. Nagpaperan kami sa bahay. Nag-HR ako, nag-admin hearing ako habang nasa bahay ako. So, sa amin walang problema kasi nakita namin din yung effort ng company to sustain yung mga employers So, parang balik namin sa kanila, nandito pa rin kami to help the company na mag-operate during pandemic. That cookie is from Scouts owner. Commisarize namin. Kami ko. You can take it home, walang problema. Hindi ko po kayo sisinin.
Bali yung mga Lazada niyo po dito sila nag-ooperate.
Ano kami, fulfilled by Lazada kami. Kumbaga, nakadeposito na kay Lazada yung stocks. Sila na yung nag-fulfill.
Okay. Kasi nakita po siya Shopee, may beyond the box. Paano pag may complaint po yung customer? Kaya po
Kami yung
nagkakaroon.
nag-handle. I do handle DTI complaints as part of my legal task.
Thank you po.